I'm gonna give y'all some time to come on in here. It feels so good to be back on my freaking personal channel. I don't know what this is. Like, I am recording in the same exact setup I am at my desk that I'm at every single day when I'm creating aggravating TV content. But the moment that I prop up my phone or I get on my camera to be on my personal channel, it feels different. Like, oh my goodness. I'm so happy to be back. Hey, Keish. I saw that you posted in the chat when I first announced this live. I'm so sorry that I did this kind of like spur of the moment. So y'all didn't have a ton. Y'all didn't have a ton of reference to like know that this is actually happening. But I'm like, the end of the month is like 2 days away, and I've been talking about I wanted to do this. Oh, hold on, I might be peeking. Let me double check before I like really get into things. I have been wanting to launch this book club, and I'm like, if I don't announce it before the end of the month, I ain't gonna do it in March. Then it's gonna be April, and I'm like, girl, get your together. So hold on. I just want to make sure the video is good. Let me double check before I like. Oh no, it's good. Okay, great. So I'm gonna give people a chance to come on in here. If you are watching, drop a hello or where you're checking in from in the chats. I have not been on my personal channel live stream. Honestly, well, here and there. Y'all, next month it's gonna be a year from when I quit my daily live streams. Like oh how what a difference time makes. Because last year, mid-March, right? Was that mid-March? Yeah. I was like, I can't do this. And I had been doing daily live streams, um, which I really, really loved and really wanted to do. But it was just a tumultuous time to actually do them, right? Like for before I decided to stop doing my daily live streams, I had two funerals that I had went to. I was transitioning and like my mom moved and I acquired my childhood home and had to fix that up, and I was doing all of that labor myself. I'm like flying back to Baltimore every 4 to 6 weeks from LA. My life was chaotic as hell. So while dealing with the grief of like losing people, it was also just so much shit happening. And I was like, I just can't do it. And I'm saying all this to say, like, now I'm coming into March, I'm in a completely different mental space. I am so grounded. I'm like at peace, which is why I feel comfortable to be able to launch a thing. Hey, Keish. Um, that's why I feel comfortable to be able to now. I'm like, okay, yeah, I'm going to do the book club because low key I've been wanting to do the book club for a hot minute because if you know me, and I'll be having thoughts. And I didn't want to just start making content because I was like, oh, I'm not a book creator. Like I don't know that or do that. So I can't do that, which low key I can. And that's coming too. But I'm like, if I have a book club, then at least I'll be able to get all this energy out and talk to people. And my homegirl, she love her to death. She is like really, really into books, and she helped me find my favorite Black indie author, Christina C. Jones. And she listens to me most of the time, but like half of the time she ain't read the books that I'm talking about, especially when it comes to urban lit. She's just like, Erica, you can have it because I ain't I ain't doing it. So I'm like, yeah, I need to be able to talk to some people about it. Um and I have been flying through books. Now I will say that with this book club, you can read the book physically or you can listen to it. I listen to more books than I actually physically read. But I do have a bunch. Like I have these three are from the library. And they're back here. I need to hold on, let me make sure I got no information there. Let me So I've been wanting to read this and I need to get to it. I started it like 2 years ago and I didn't finish, but I did not finish because of the story. I didn't finish because of whatever was going on in my life at the time. So this is on my physical TBR for sure. Um, this I picked up because of the cover. Like, what? Have no idea what it's about. That's also another thing. So I typically don't read like synopsis. It's similar to like how I don't prefer to do like trailers. I feel like they just give away too much. A cover and the author will sell me every single time. And honestly, how I found like new authors and how I started trying new people is that I'll go through, specifically on TikTok. I get a lot of book content served to me because I like it. And I'll see somebody reviewing a book, but I won't listen to the review. Like, I'll just see the book and I'm like, all right, I'll make a note. I'll take a screenshot or I'll make a note. And then, depending on the amount of times I see people talking about a book, that will push a book up on my TBR. So, like for example, All Sinners Bleed, which is my first S.A. Cosby book. My homegirl did read it and told me that she liked it, but I kept seeing it on my timeline, had no idea what it's about. And I'm like, all right, I'm gonna read that. But it's because I kept seeing it. So that's kind of how I move. I did go through and outline for the rest of the year, like books I think that would be really cool to read. But I also think I want to open it up for whoever decides to join. Um to be able to like vote on what the book will be or like add input as well. So yeah, I am definitely gonna be figuring this out as we go along. But one thing I know for sure is that we're gonna be reading damn books because I'm reading a ton of books. Oh, and this is the other one. And this is also another one like the cover. I have no idea what it's about. Have no idea what it's about. But my homegirl, did she tell me I'm not? No, she told me I might not like this one. She said I'm not gonna like this one. I don't think that she read this one. But a cover, a title, and a black author will get me every single time. These are not on the book club like to do yet. Those are just mine. Where is my notebook? I wrote down. Oh, I think it might be upstairs, y'all. Not me not being prepared. You audio all the S.A. Cosby books, and you're currently reading The Street by Anne Petrie. Is that Petrie? Yeah. Me too. Me too. But I'm gonna buy Razorblade Tears because I think Razorblade Tears is my favorite S.A. Cosby book. And All Sinners Bleed, I'm probably gonna buy that one as well. And I kind of want to go back and physically read those because I have listened to all of his books. And I love him. And I love the narrator. The narrator that reads S.A. Cosby books and S.A. Cosby go together so bad. They are so perfect for one another. The book is like it's like a movie in your head. And I absolutely love it. Let me get my notebook real quick because I have my list. I'm so sorry. Give me 1 second. Y'all, I should be ashamed of myself. Where is the damn notebook? Hold on, where I wrote my little notes at? Child, all sinners bleed in my darkest prayer are your top two. Really? With my darkest prayer, I was like struggling a little bit. Like I struggled. What was it about my darkest prayer that was like, I don't know. Church folk, like how they talk about church folk, I think is so accurate, but it just annoys the hell out of me. Like I just started Dominion today, and I feel the same thing. Like I'm just like, I don't know, something about reading or watching. Well, not watching because I love Kingdom Business. Reading about church folk being raggedy ass church folk, just I don't know. I think it was good, but it wasn't my favorite. Um, Razor Blade Tears, I was so captivated uh just because of the journey that the dads were going on, and not even just like the full on just the plot of the movie, right? They're getting justice for their sons, but their internal journeys and like how they had to like process who they are and who they have been and like atone for it as they're going on this like self-righteous mission to like avenge their sons. I felt like that book was just so brilliant and it was so nuanced on so many different levels. Hold on, y'all. I got so many little notebooks where I'm writing out ideas for videos constantly. No, it's not in this. I think it's in my little. Where's that little? Child, is it in my car? Might be in my car. So I'm gonna have to do a post about the books that I want to do for this year. I think we're gonna do one book a month because I don't want it to be overwhelming for people. Yeah, it's not in here. It's in the other notebook. Sorry. But I'll do a post on my community tab, and that will be that'll be great actually. That will be like what's on my list and what I'm hoping to do, and that will be a great way for anybody who wants to join the book club to be able to post a comment and make suggestions for like books that you would like to add or you would like to read maybe in a group setting. Yes, that actually winds up working. There will be a new Bookish channel, a few Bookish channels actually added to my Discord. So if you're not in the Discord yet, you need to get into there. I think we're gonna do like monthly meetings, and it'll probably be like monthly meetings on live. I haven't figured out if it's gonna be private or if it's gonna be public. I'm figuring it out as we go along, but I will be in the next few days announcing what will be March's book. So basically, like at the beginning of the month or the very end of the previous month, I will announce whatever the book is going to be for that following month. We have like the first 3 weeks, 3.5 weeks to finish, and then we'll typically meet at the end of the month to discuss. And I cannot wait to do so because I have found myself over the course of the last like 8 months really, really deeply invested in literature and in books and in the storytelling that's happening in books. And I'm crediting a lot of these audiobooks that I've listened to with like really saving me from deep depression. I haven't talked about this on the channel. This is going to be coming next month, I guess, too, on his birthday. But I did lose Cole last year. And after that, that was kind of like the cherry on the grief cake that was the last year of my life. And I really threw myself into a ton of audiobooks immediately after that happened. Like I kind of like cut off everybody and like wasn't talking, wasn't answering the phone, wasn't doing much of nothing. All I was doing was like laying in bed and listening to audiobooks. And I feel like allowing myself to go into these various stories, get into the mind of these different characters, really helped me navigate that particular grief season. And I'm so grateful for it. The only problem is it's like I haven't like swung out of it yet. Like now that I'm not in such a deep grieving place, I still love audiobooks. I'm constantly listening to them. Like on when I'm really on one, y'all, I will listen to 2 audiobooks in a day. Like it was that bad. Like August, August and September of last year, I cleared 30 books each month. It was crazy. Anyway, um, and the problem comes in because you're like, Erica, where's the problem in that? The problem comes in is like I'm supposed to be watching TV shows, watching movies, and reviewing those things. And I, on numerous occasions in the last 8 months, y'all, on numerous occasions have found myself not going to the movies because I would rather just finish my audiobook, not starting the show because you know what? I want to go ahead and start this audiobook. And I have yet to figure out what my balance is going to be, but I gotta find it. I gotta find it because I gotta make the TV content. Like my main channel has been low key starving. She's on a diet because I'm barely getting by and I'm only doing a little bit of Beyond the Gates content. But there's so much other stuff that I'm watching now I need to talk about that I have been wanting to talk about, but I'll be prioritizing these books. And I kinda hate it for me, but not really. What did I think of Kings of Ashes? I didn't dislike King of Ashes. I feel like there were parts of it I wanted him to go deeper. But at the end I was like, okay, okay, cool. It would probably be maybe third or fourth on my list of like S.A. Cosby books. Uh are you using Audible, other platforms for audiobooks? Okay. I'm using all the damn platforms. Well, not really, because I haven't started Libro FM, but I kind of want to try them because we're not supposed to be using Audible because we're supposed to be sticking it to Bezos, but I have Audible subscription. I do. And honestly, I was a little bit like let down when I first signed up for it because you only get one book a month. And now they get my money. They are getting my money, y'all. So I only signed up for Audible because there are certain books that are in the Amazon ecosystem that are only there. But baby, the library hates to see me coming because Hoopla and Libby every single day. Like I need to start tracking my screen time or like how much time I spend in the library apps because Hoopla and Libby, I am constantly there. And because I live in LA, there's the LA Public Library System and the LA County Library System. They give you separate like things. So those two library cards alone give me, I think, well before this year where they cut funding for the libraries. Anyway, I used to get, I think, 8 books a month with Hoopla for LA County and 15 books a month on Hoopla for LA Public Library. So that was 23. I think now it's like 20. So on Libby, I can get 20 books a month just from Hoopla in my library cards, my 2 library cards. With Libby, you get 30 a month with LA. Let me look it up. With LA Public Library, you get 30 a month. With LA County, let me see my cards. With LA County, how much do you get? 15 a month. I never hit my limits on Libby anymore. And then, so I get 30 potential simultaneous, well, not a month, simultaneously. So you can have on Libby, you can have with LA County, I mean, with LA Public Library, you can have 30 things checked out simultaneously. LA County, 15. That's 45 right there. But your girl has also decided to go on a mission of getting as many library cards as she possibly can get. And she remembered, oh yeah, wait, what about my Baltimore library cards? Absolutely. We add those into the damn mix. My Baltimore County library card gives me an additional 10 loans in a whole other like ecosystem. So like the thing about it is like the same books that LA County has, LA Public Library might not have, and vice versa. Same thing with with Baltimore, right? Like Baltimore, I think does a really good job of having a lot of Black authors because it's a Black ass city. Boom. But it don't stop there. So I have a Baltimore County library card. I have a Baltimore City library card. And when I was at Sundance, I got a Park City library card. And I was very surprised by this because the Park City library card gives you 15 loans as well. So I said all of that to say, I have plenty of options when it comes to like getting books from the library, whether it's audiobooks or actual like physical books. Those 3 books are checkouts from the library. But I do use Audible, and I'm going to keep my Audible subscription because when it comes to premium and books that are like just released, then if I really want it, I have to like do the premium. Oh, not to mention Spotify. Spotify gives me 15 hours or something a month in my Spotify subscription. And it's Audible or Spotify that I use for like anything that's new. So I think I listen to King of Ashes on Spotify because the library either won't have it immediately or it's so many people waiting to get it. That's the only problem with the library. The library is like it only has a certain number of whatever that book is, and you will have to like put a hold or wait if other people have that particular book checked out. So yes, those are the four main apps that I use for audiobooks. So it's Libby, Hoopla, which are two based with the library. And wherever you are, you can check to see which system your library uses. And if you're in a big metropolitan place, they probably do both. So like I said, um, LA County and LA City use both. So there's options there for both. But Baltimore, for example, I think Baltimore County doesn't like have movies or something like that in their hoopla. Like there's a little bit of different restrictions based off of whatever they signed up for. So you just have to check. Your library system wherever you are will either have hoopla, have Libby, or have both. And then there's Audible and then there's Spotify. And then like I said, I heard about Libro FM. It's kind of to me it looks like what Audible is, but supposedly a little bit more ethical. So I might check them out, but I haven't needed to thus far. Um, yeah, and I always have like a running list of like holds. There's always books becoming available, and I'm like drowning in them, and I love it. Which also, again, doesn't help because I will just be like, "Oh, my book is ready. I didn't wait for this hold. I ain't going to the movies. I thought I was going to movies." But then again, y'all, I also signed up for freaking AMC A List 2 months ago, or no, back in December, and I ain't even been going to the movie. It's like how I get to see 4 movies a week and I ain't even going to the damn movies. Like, Erica, please. I'm drowning in content. But this is what I'm currently listening to. And I don't know how I feel about it yet. Well, actually, I do know how I feel about the characters, but I don't know how I feel about the book as a whole just yet. And I am 65% done. I just started it this morning. Yeah. The library has been clutch for me with audiobooks. It's so awesome. The library is incredible. I am going to go to the LA Public Library, the downtown one, to check out their Octavia Butler lab. And they have like a bunch of like 3D printers and poster printers and stuff. And I want to do a gallery wall in my like entryway. And I'm like, yo, I can use the library and like you get a certain amount of prints per week or something like that. And I'm like, bruh, I don't even have to like break the bank in doing this. All I have to do is like go and check it out. So I'm going to go and like get introduced to all the services that they have there because I haven't been back to the downtown library in like 8 years since I first moved here. But yes, the library is a really great resource. Okay. What really what really has me wanting to have this book club, y'all, is this universe here. I don't know how many people have read it. It won't even be on the list of the things that we read this year. But as our community grows and people come in, I will be asking, have you read it? Because I want to scream. I want to scream about these characters and the stress they have introduced into my life. I am on book 6 of Ethic, and it is in the universe, the Moth to a Flame universe. I already read the Moth to a Flame standalone book. And where am I at with Butterfly? Butterfly. I think I'm on book 5 of Butterfly. Let me check. Book 4. Yes. Can y'all see that? These Atkins women are driving me crazy. And I also, this is another thing that y'all should know about me. I struggle with DNFing. I'm processing it. I'm working on it right now. I don't know what it means, but I have a very hard time DNFing books, so I don't. Which means I will hate read or hate listen just to get to an end so I can say I finished it and my hate is valid. Okay? The author is Ashley Antoinette. I don't actually hate the Ethics series right now in book 6. I feel like she could have finished the series in 4 books. I feel like she's doing a lot of redundant things. However, the characters are the strongest of this entire universe. But what I really respect and dare I say enjoy about my reading journey is that in a lot of ways I use the books that I read and how I feel about them, how I process them, how I receive various things that the characters are doing to better understand myself, to interrogate my own motives and beliefs and like how I live. And then discuss that with myself and like reaffirm certain things or shift. And it's, I want to say weird, but it's not weird at all. I think that it might be uncommon, but it's not weird. Um, I think I do this more so with books than I do with film and television. Well, film, I think a little bit more. Television is kind of like, okay, I take it in for what it is. I say what I believe and what aligns and what I know and this and the third. But it takes a very powerful character and a very powerful storyline to truly affect me or to have me like really thinking about myself. But I would say pretty much every book that I go into, how I'm receiving it, how it's landing on me, if I like it immediately, if I hate it immediately, like whatever, keeps me in a place of like auditing what is happening for myself internally. And I enjoy that and respect that. So a lot of like my critique and conversation as it pertains to the books will be like wrapped in that intention, if that makes sense. It's less about me reading a book and telling people what happened and like all of that, but like what came, it'll be more of like I read this is what came up for me. And I'm hoping I can pull that out of other people and we can engage in that way if that's something that you're interested in. Um yeah, the Butterfly series, Ethics series, and Moth to a Flame. That has me questioning a lot of things with myself and like how I see people, how I empathize with other women. Like, yeah, that's put me in a place. And I'm mad about it, but not really. Like, it's almost like, oh, this is going to push me to be an even better person. And I love that for me. But I've had to keep stopping because the stress. The stress of what these characters are doing, the decision that they making, how they think. Like, why would you do that? What you can expect from me with this book club is very similar to what people get on Erica Vane TV. Like, I literally respond the exact same to characters in books as I do with characters on the screen. I don't know if that makes me crazy or not, but it is what it is. I am who I am. And I'm accepting that of myself. If you're watching this on replay, feel free to drop any of your thoughts in the comment section down below. Just so a quick recap, I am starting a book club. We're going to be doing a book a month. Anybody can join. It'll be open to the public. I am going to post on my community tab the list of books that I'm considering throughout the rest of the year, but the book that we're going to do for March, we will get the books at the beginning of the month or the end of the previous month, and then we will meet at the end of the month that the book is assigned to and have a discussion about it, a nice little detailed discussion about it. And I cannot wait. Now, I also said I was going to talk about some of the books that I loved in this because I've consumed so many. Let me see. Hold on. I showed this a little bit. when I did my like other live stream and people started to ask me about books, but and I need to update this. Hold on. Hold on real quick, y'all. Let me see. Let me see. Let me see. Okay. Let me pull this up with Canva. There. Here it is. Okay. Okay, I did not do a good job of keeping up with this, but I basically, and I didn't write any reviews in here, but um, I put together a deck last year to track what I was reading. And wait, can y'all hear me? Let me double check, make sure y'all can still hear me. I put together a deck. Oh, it is. Okay, let me mute that. Test, 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 test. Is that an echo? I can't tell, y'all. Test, 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 testing. Okay, let me try again. Is this an echo? Echo. Muted that. Does that sound better? Lordy. Lordy, lordy, lordy. What else is also showing? Test, test, test. Okay, great. Okay. All right. So I did this deck last year and it was like how it was before. Well, one, I have Storygraph that I haven't fully set up, and I don't have Goodreads, I don't think. But I just started dropping the screenshots of the covers into this deck because I was trying to keep track of what I was reading, and I hadn't gotten on all of these different like apps that will track for you. So this is what I put together last year, and I didn't even get to finish because I just like let it fall by the wayside. So I need to update it from what I remember, and then I also need to start one for this year. But I have it in July because this is when I really got into books, and I typically have like the first page of that month is like whatever I consider the 5-star read. Allow me to introduce myself caught me by surprise in the best way. Like I this was just the perfect book for me to read in this month. I was so freaking sad. And it distracted me. It distracted me beautifully from like what I had going on. I was like championing the protagonist. I loved her journey, her story, her voice. I was curious and like super intrigued for like what would happen next with certain interpersonal relationships. I feel like I'm gonna wind up going back and re-listening and maybe even reading the physical book of this book because it was so good. Now I'm not gonna be able on this video to go into depth about things, so I'm gonna just tell you how I feel about it and move forward. But we could definitely talk about this book. If you read it, we could definitely talk for sure. Um and then next, the other top books that I read in that month was Curvy Girl Summer and then If Only for the Summer. And I gave Curvy Girl Summer 3.5 stars. And I gave If Only for the Summer 4. I gotta go back and re-listen to If Only for the Summer too. I like the series. Like Daniel Allen is a dope writer. What was my issue with Curvy Girl Summer? Why didn't I give it 4 stars? I think it was the depth. Oftentimes, when certain themes are introduced or certain things come up, I'm like, great. Now, like, let's dig into it. And a lot of authors won't do that. That it's just like a surface level thing. And I think that that's what it was. Even though the book itself wasn't a surface level book, I love the journey that this protagonist went on. I thought it was interesting. I love their love story. It was cool. It was fun. It was sexy. It just could have went deeper and it didn't. So that's why I think I gave it 3.5 stars. But I will be re-listening to this one as well as the follow-up because I think I read that in October before May, which I think the third and final book in the series comes out. But If Only for the Summer, I really like Alexandra Warren, actually. I don't think I've been given enough credit to Alexandra Warren. So, on my little journey, right? My homegirl introduced me to Goal, which is up here, the top right, which is Alexandra House. And then from there, I went through and started reading those 3 books, those series. Absolutely loved it. And I'm like, okay, bet. I'm going to read everything. Listen here, the moment I realized I like your writing, I want to read everything of this. My bad. But if I do this, it's going to give you an echo. I got to figure out my little thing here because this is crazy. I don't know what y'all missed. Mm, I don't know why it's echoing. Okay, let me try to do this. How about this? I'm going to duplicate this Give me 2 seconds, y'all. Okay. Can you hear me? Is that fine now? Is it back? There's an echo now. Okay, perfect. Sorry about that. Um, so I think I literally like went to Alexandra Warren because it was suggested, and I was like, all right, I gotta stop reading Alexandra House because I'm like hooked on her, and I'm like flying through her catalog, and I wanted to slow down. And if only for the summer caught me by surprise. Like I was like, yo, this is so dope, and I had no idea. Like the last like romance books that I had read was like back in high school, like the coldest winter ever, which was traumatic as hell, or like Zane, which was like smut. Like, and again, that was like high school. Once I got into college, it was more so about what I have going on academically. And then if I was reading books, it was business books, self-development books, philosophy books. Like I equated reading solely to like academic advancement and intellectual stimulation and education in that regard. And low key, like now that I've flown through so many physical and audiobooks in the fiction space, like fiction does not get enough credit for how intellectually stimulating it can actually be. But in my 20s, child, I wasn't trying to hear that. So like I had not read in even early 30s, like I was not trying to hear it or paying attention to it. So like I'm low key pissed that I had no idea this whole damn world existed, but I can't be too damn pissed because I have all of these books to now dive into that have been out for years. Like I said, for example, Alexandria House. Before I was introduced to Christina C. Jones, I was like, oh wait, she might be my little favorite indie person because like I can read any of the stuff that she has going on. The characters I'm so into, like the worlds that she's built. I'm like, yes, 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 yes. And then again, low key Alexandra Warren. I need to read more of her books. I read If Only for the Summer, and then recently I read a book, but I felt like it was a novella, and it was about this girl who breaks up with her boyfriend, gets on a flight, and randomly runs into this guy at the airport, and then their love story from there. But then other than that, I haven't read anything else Alexandra Warren. But when I look at this, I'm like, yo, you really loved If Only for the Summer. So why in the hell haven't we read anything else Alexandra Warren? I don't know. I don't know. Now, what I will say is you see this damn Jacquel J over here. I feel like I got a love hate relationship with Jacquel. Because first of all, I only found Jacquel J because I was like, okay, I'm reading all these damn romance books and it's great. And the way that they make these black men is divine. Like where they making these men at, they need to be making them in real life. We need to find them in real life. I was like, wait, I need to read a black male who writes romance. I need to see the difference in how black women write black men and how black men write black men. So when I saw Jacquel J, I said, oh, this might be a man. Erica Googles is free. That's fine, but I wasn't in my right mind at the time. So I didn't even Google her to know that she was a lady at all. I saw the name, saw the book available, borrowed the damn book. Started to listen to the damn book. And it's some ghetto hood, no shade. It was good. The characters are compelling. I think that she needs an editor. I ain't gonna hold you. She do need an editor. But I got to Homie Lover Friends 3, and then that's when I finally looked her up, and come to find out she's a damn girl. I was like, I'm supposed to be reading a nigga. Why am I reading a girl? But I was already too deep in. And then Jaquel became like the pillar of Hutch in my TBR. So if I if I was going to be reading some Hutch, I was definitely going to be reading Jaquel. That is the summary of, oh, actually, no, of July. I Got You by Miss Genesee Qua. I don't think I finished that book. Or did I? Did I? I don't remember. But I gave it 2.5 stars. Interesting. I remember when I started that book, I did not like it. And I cannot tell you for the life of me what the hell happened in it. But I know that there's subsequent ones. So I might have to revisit it. Because 2.5 stars is crazy. From what I recall, I did not like it and I did not finish it. But maybe I did. Because again, I was flying through books like crazy this month and the following. Okay, next. I did DNF books, but these are not DNFs of like, oh, I hate the book, so I just can't watch it or listen to it. These are DNFs because I started them and I just didn't finish them before the end of the month. So there's that. So when I say I can't DNF or I struggle with DNF, I struggle with like saying, okay, I started this book and I'm not going to finish it. So maybe I did finish that Je ne sais quoi book, but I really don't know what the hell the plot was. I don't know who the characters was. I remember being annoyed almost immediately about it and feeling like, yeah, this is not going to work. Maybe I did finish it because the only time I really did not finish a book is because I ran out of time in that month. Like you're going to see, I think I finished The Message the next month and someday maybe it's still on my list. Where the Crawdad Sing, I think it's still on my damn DNF list, honestly. I was trying to track hours and stuff there and I didn't, so I didn't go back and like edit that. This is like a template that I was using. And then I would go through and I would like, okay, this is what my TBR is going to be for the following month. And I like put all these books that I'm like, okay, I want to read these. And I think I went back and I tried to grade out the ones that I actually did read. And the ones that I didn't get to are still there. Yes, I gotta bring this back and I gotta like tailor. Wait, it's not, hold on, it's not updating. Y'all can't see this. Not this thing giving me problems. Here we go. So, again, my July DNF was literally because I ran out of time, not because I hated the stories. And this was my August TBR. I think once I got to like September, oh wait, is it giving me an echo now? God damn it. I stopped creating these because I would come up with this damn TBR and then read a bunch of that was never even on it. Like, yo, I put no respect on the TBR. I think that this August TBR was the best that I had did throughout the rest of the damn year because I came up with all these books that I wanted to read and I tried to carry over the ones I didn't finish and like, okay, like, you know, the Ta-Nehisi Coates book right here, The Message. I did wind up finishing that in August, but for the most part, I did not did not pay attention to this and use this to go off of like what I would be reading next. Book Talk was getting me in a chokehold, and anytime too many people started talking about a book, I was like, all right, I'm gonna read it. My number one book in August was Hurricane Summer. I still love this book. I actually need to order the physical book. I thought that this book was just so well written. The story was so relatable. It was freaking incredible. I loved it so very much. And it spoke to a part of me that like struggles with my dad's side of the family and like what it's like. My dad came to Baltimore and met my mom at college, but he's from St. Thomas, right? And I know my family, most of my family in St. Thomas, but there's quite a few people who I didn't meet, and then I didn't spend a ton of time on that island. But the time that I did, it's like they look at you different. They look at you different because you're from uh the states, and because there's a certain expectations that come with being from the states, and this book so accurately just like depicted what that looks like. Now the island that she went to was her dad's island in Jamaica. But so much of it resonated, and it was just such an intriguing story with twists and turns. I was captivated from the very beginning and loved everything about this book. I would honestly, if I was to say what was my favorite read of the year, this book will be competing up there. Like maybe this I would have to have a conversation of like, okay, would I put Razor Blade Tears above this book? I don't think I would. I don't think I would. Would I put All Sinners Bleed in front of this book? I don't think I would. Yeah, this might have been my favorite read of 2025. And honestly, I have not even sat and thought about that um just yet. Like I haven't thought about what was my favorite book of last year as a whole. Let me give me a little button here real quick. Hold on one second, y'all. Okay, here we go. All right. Now we in August. This is everything else that I read in August. More Alexandria House. Like I was flying through Alexandria House in August. Like Alexandria House hates to see me coming. Yeah. Okay. Well, let's talk about my other faves. So they weren't as good as Hurricane Summer, but Plus Size Player was the follow up to Curvy Girl Summer, which I gave the same rating. But I honestly I would say that Curvy Girl Summer might have been a little bit better, just like a teeny better than Plus Size Player, because I do believe that Plus Size Player, like at least towards the end, I felt like she kind of like rushed to wrap things up and things just started to work out randomly. But then also their initial conflict was not really that big of a conflict. It was so much of like what other people think versus them actually being held apart. And basically like they are trying to navigate careers in their relationship, and that becomes the conflict or the tension, which doesn't feel like really really high stakes because both of them have a certain level of autonomy within their careers that they could just make certain choices, but also they got in their head about a lot of things. So like, yeah, it was good. It just wasn't like 4-star good for me. It wasn't. And then beyond the scenes or behind the scenes, child. This was my first Christina C. Jones book, and I was hooked immediately. And this book is so funny to me because my homegirl who suggested that I read it did not like the male in it. Cannot stand him. But when I tell you I loved him, and like we were talking because she's like, I don't like broody men, but I love a broody man. Love a broody Negro. And he is that to a damn T. Here, I did not know Christina C. Jones's game, but once I was introduced to it, I was like, okay, bet. I want to read more. And that took me to Strictly Professional. And I'm like, okay, I want to read more. That's up here. That was another 4-star. Then the follow up to Strictly Professional is Unfinished Business. This is my first time realizing that okay, not every romance series you go to a new couple with the next book, because this is the same damn couple and they almost tore my damn edges out. Strictly Professional up here at the top, and Unfinished Business. Christina wrote those here. Absolutely. And then Equivalent Exchange I read after Unfinished Business, because I was already like, once I realized I liked her writing, I said I gotta read everything. So I went to Equivalent Exchange. And Equivalent Exchange, I think, is where she really hooked me. The world that she built with the night shift and the like getting introduced to like Blackwood, and I want to live there so bad. So bad. August was a really good, I think, reading month, because while I had gotten introduced to Christina, and I think this was towards the end of the month, I was still on my Alexandria House kick. So I went through the entire McLean Brothers series, which you see right here, which was so good. Shout out to Big South. Shout out to Big South. Another series is the Stay With Me, Believe in Me, Be With Me, was cool. And I think after I did the Stay With Me, Believe With Me, and Be With Me is when I was like, okay, let me go through Christina's catalog now. Like I realized, I think after that, like I like Christina's writing more, even though I really did enjoy Alexandra House. I like Christina's writing more. So then I just started to listen to everything I could get my damn hands on. Lilith caught my ass by surprise, but now I'm hooked. And I listened to Memphis, I feel like in December of last year, which is the follow up to this. I didn't even know that genre was my genre here, but I listened to it and it was good. And then more Jacquel, because after I did the homie lover friends, I'm like, okay, and I started Capone, and then I was just like, oh, now I know your game, Jacquel. I know your game. But little did I know that Capone is a gateway drug. A gateway drug. And I'm literally negotiating right now. I'm like, how are y'all reading all? First of all, Jacquel posts she publishes like 12 books a fucking year. The girl's catalog is crazy. Like, I'm like, how are y'all getting through all these books? The girls are reading them on Kindle Unlimited. The thing about it is, I listen to so many audiobooks because I'm listening while I'm doing other things, while I'm taking multiple mile walks, while I'm working, while I'm cooking, while I'm cleaning. Like I'm constantly listening to an audiobook. So I cannot like physically be reading a book at all times. I would get through way less books if I was physically reading them. And that's the only reason why I haven't gone further with Jacquel, because child trying to buy all her damn audiobooks because she releases 82 million books a goddamn on year. Ain't nobody got all that kind of money. But the Capone is a gateway drug, because for the last 6-7 months, I have been wanting to go into Capadonna, which is only on Amazon, either on Audible or Kindle Unlimited. And then I think Qasim is available at the library with just the first book, because I just saw that. And I think I got it because I put it on hold. But I'm like, I can't read that until I read Capadonna, because that's season 2. Jacquel girl. Anywho, Capone was cool. Okay, so but the rate, like y'all can tell down here, the ratings are low, so it's like 2.5 or 2 stars. Not because the characters are terrible. The characters are what really saves it. It's the writing for me. For me, the only issue I think I have with Jacquel is that I think that she needs an editor, and I think that she's often very redundant, and that takes you out of it at times, or at least takes me out of it at times. But the saving grace is that she creates such beautifully flawed, crazy, unique, dope characters that I want to like continue to follow and like vibe with. So I will continue to listen to her stuff. Rhythms Blues was okay. The cover got me. I feel like, I gave it 4 stars. I feel like there's quite a few books where their cover is better than the actual book. If you know, you know. And then the message, I love that Ta-Nehisi Coates. It was a really good book. I want to purchase it. I think I checked this out of the library and I listened to this. So there's that. Now, let's talk about my thoughts on these cartoon covers. Because the way I be limiting my damn self, y'all, the Boyfriend Project, the Dating Playbook, and the Hookup Plan were so good. And I did not expect them to be. Because when I see these cartoon covers, I immediately think like generic ass, weird ass romance. No, thank you. I don't want no children's ass romance. I'm not doing it. This is not what that was. Now, it was not like smutted out like some of these. Okay. There's, sex in it, but it's much more tame in how it's described. But the character development, the character journeys that these characters went on was chef's freaking kiss. And these books are the ones that made me be like, all right, Erica, you're gonna have to let go of your little bias against cartoon covers because grow up. Some of these cartoon covers is given. And I was like, you know what? When new information is presented, we evolve and we grow. Okay. Oh, my DNFs for August. Again, it was not that I didn't like it. It's just that I didn't finish it before the end of August. And then honestly, I didn't finish the good ones are taken, and I never went back to it. I gotta add that back because I didn't remember that. Yeah. Um. Ooh. Now this is what I'm talking about. When I say that the TBRs, once I got to September, October, the TBR was not even a good suggestion list because child, I read three books, three books on the whole damn TBR in this month. Mind you, that didn't mean I only read the three books that month. I read plenty, but only three of them came off of my damn TBR because I was not listening to this TBR to save my life. Maybe that's something that the book club can help me do because I'm gonna start publishing my TBRs again. I'm gonna start putting together TBRs again, and y'all can hold me accountable to actually read what the hell I put on the TBR and not just be out here freeballing it, doing whatever. Look, the audiobook for Black Girls That Must Die Exhausted is on here, and I don't even think I like checked it out. Um, yeah, I still haven't gone back to any of these. I started Who's That Girl and I didn't finish it. Um, oh, I did wind up finishing S.A. Cosby's Awesomeness Bleed, but it wasn't in this month at all. I don't think at all. My September reads best book was The Best Man, y'all. This audiobook was so damn good. Mm. And what's so interesting about it is that I was not expecting it to be. I just knew this book was going to be some type of cheap knockoff to The Best Man story. I was just like, oh, just let it go. It's finished with the show. Like, relax. This book picks up after the show and it continues the story beautifully. I can't wait for the next one. I can't wait for the next one. This book centers mostly Harper, Jordan, and Robin, and like the depth that they go to with their story. It feels like it's still a show. I saw it all in my head, every last bit of it. And I personally had big beef with Harper Stewart. But by the end of the book, I'm like, you know what, Harper? You ain't that damn bad. They did something with this. They really did something. Cause my God. Oh, it was really good, y'all. Really, really good. So if you're wondering if you had it on your list and you ain't take the jump, go ahead and do it. Oh, okay. Now y'all get to see that I'm like obsessed. Obsessed with Christina. By September, I am introduced to Christina C. Jones at the end of August. Fly through 4 or 5 of her books, and then it's all about her. All of these books, this is hers, 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 this is the majority of my damn reads in September were all Christina C. Jones books. And I don't regret a damn thing. Not a thing. The world. I think that's the thing I love most about her books is the world that she builds and operates in, and this how different and nuanced each of the characters are. That girl is brilliant. These two books, Raised by Wolves and No Longer Afraid, I don't like motorcycle clubs. I don't like motorcycles. But was I locked in? Was I locked in for this? Absolutely. Child. Mm. Oh, this is the Alexandra Warren novella I was talking about before. Anywho, my top reads. Brooklyn. Read this book if you dare. Because the emotional journey that this book takes me on. And low key, I should have been prepared for Morgan Atkins because I read Brooklyn. I let too much time go by in between reading Brooklyn and reading freaking Butterfly. And I allowed myself to get agitated all over again because if anything, well, also Brooklyn wasn't a damn series. It was all one book, and all the upset, all the stress, all the angst came and went with this one damn book. Because this little girl was stressful as hell, but it was beautifully written. Tragic, but beautifully written. And I'm also low key like, I think the next book is Holding You Down. And I'm nervous to read it just because of the emotional turmoil I experienced with reading Brooklyn, but it was good. And all I ever wanted, all I ever needed. I love this book so much. So much. I want to get the physical copy. I thought it was so beautifully written. Again, Erica's letting the cartoon covers live. I'm disappointed because I read the follow up. I was like breaking my neck to get the follow up, and I didn't love the follow up as much as I loved the first one. But I didn't read that in this month, so we're not talking about that. I also started J.L. Seeger's Child, Restore Me. That story that J.L. Seeger told with this series was really good, heart wrenching, relatable. And you know what? These are the type of men that we just need more of them to be populated in the world because just because, yeah. Like, I'm gonna have to do a whole separate thing on JL Seekers because I have thoughts. Like, it wasn't perfect, which is why I gave it a 3.5, not a 4. Even though 4 doesn't mean perfect. But in reference to characters, the world, and the story she chose to tell, wonderful. Execution, cool. Uh this is not correct. I think this 2 is supposed to be for Captivated by Danger, and the 4 is supposed to be for Intrigued by Danger. I read the Danger series. First of all, I did not know what the hell I was getting into when I first started it. But by the time I finished Tempted by Danger, I was locked in. Then when we get to Diesel's book, I'm ready to get the hell out because Diesel is a very mean man. I do not like that man. Do I hate that man? No, I don't hate Diesel. He not my cup of tea. I can't do him. I would have been in jail. I would have been in jail. If Diesel was pursuing me, I would have been in jail because something's wrong with that man. But Declan Danger is literally the combination of Diesel and, well, no, he's more like Diamond than he is Diesel, even though he's Diesel's twin brother. My only thing, like, Declan's book would have been my favorite book if he didn't have one of the kinks that he has. Literally, I think the deciding factor for me is like he has one kink that I just is a no-go for me and I can't get with it. And that made me like default back to Diamond. I love Diamond Danger anyway. But when I got to Declan's book, I was like, oh my God, I love this even more. Like, this is so great. But then he did this thing and I was like, oh, whoa. Yeah, let me just back on up. Oh, I love that I'm going back down memory lane with this. This is fun. I need to hurry up. How long have I been on here? An hour? Oh, brother. This is not supposed to be all of that. Okay. But y'all at least getting to see what I have read. I didn't DNF anything, so this is blank. And then see, once I got to October, I was not keeping up. I wasn't keeping up at all. So I got to go back and update this. I tried to update. So it was more Christina C. Jones. I went through more of J.L. Seeger's that series. I think that's the Haven series. Colliding with Fate is the follow up to All I Ever Wanted, All I Ever Needed. Oh, why it's not updating? What is going on? There you go. Colliding with Fate is the follow up to All I Ever Wanted, All I Ever Needed, and it was not given for me. When I Think of You is a good example of a book that the cover is better than the story. The story wasn't bad, but I don't know, I was expecting more and I wanted more, which is why it's not a 5-star for me. But it wasn't bad. I just was expecting more. I gave Hostile Takeover 3 stars. I should have gave that 4. I feel like I was rushing. I didn't finish this thing. All Sinners Bleed was definitely one of my top books. It might have been my favorite book of that month, but I didn't finish completing this, so that's why it's like this. I think I update this as I was reading. Yeah, I don't know if these ratings are actually right because I kind of copied and pasted from the previous month. And then after this, I know I don't keep up with nothing. Nope, I don't keep up with a damn thing. I need to get something started for this year because I don't have anything just yet. So maybe that could be the first thing that I do for the book club. I will settle on what my little deck will be for tracking my reads. I also am going to share my link for Storygraph, because I'm also going to try to do a better job of tracking the books that I'm actually reading. So outside of the book club, we'll be able to discuss other books. Like, if you are currently reading a book that I have read in the past, I don't have a problem with discussing that with y'all. I would actually love to discuss that with y'all. If something that I'm currently reading is on a future TBR, then you can make a note of it and you can come back to me once you actually have read it. Like, I want this to be like an ongoing conversation about books in general, regardless of like what the center focus book is for each month. It's low-key just going to give me an outlet to be able to discuss another thing that I have fallen in love with and I'm obsessed with, and that is, reading and listening to books and being able to connect with y'all in this way. Now, I need to go edit videos, so I'm going to get out of here. But again, I will drop my Storygraph link so that you guys can friend me on there. If you are interested in joining the book club, you can either post a comment on this video or on the community post that I post about what we're going to be reading and like giving you a little bit of a preview so that I know. If you're not in my Discord, DM me so I can get you into the Discord for that. And then I will also create my deck for this year and then provide a copy for y'all if y'all want, and it'll be in Canva so that you can like tailor it to however you want it to be, and it'll be completely free so that maybe you can track your books this way as well. It'll be a good way to like have something by the end of the year of like you can visually see. I love a little presentation. I love a little deck, right? We'll all have that and be able to review, because that was low-key kind of fun, and like thinking back to when I was reading those books and finished those books and how I was feeling about it. I got so much I need to update because I've already read so much in the 2 months that this year has had. But that is that. Y'all, we're starting a book club. Thank you so much for checking this video out. If you're catching this on replay, still drop your thoughts. I hope that you enjoyed it. I hope that you want to join. Tell me what you're currently reading in the comment section down below. Keish, thank you so much for being here live with me, boo. Hi, Danny. How are you? And I'll see y'all in the next one.